Well, I'm here in Florida. I'm supposed to be heading back to Los Angeles this evening, but I've been here for almost a week and a half. I got here not last Friday, but the week before, the Friday before. And I came mainly for a cousin's housewarming party. And I hadn't been here in 3 years. I have a lot of relatives here, and Florida is, I feel, a second home to me. But a thought came to mind. A lot of my cousins here, they now have children of their own, and they're still pretty young in age. At my cousin's place, the cousin that had hosted his housewarming party a couple Saturdays ago, his sister stayed over into the next morning, the following Sunday, with her daughter. And I can't think of her daughter's age exactly, but she's got a lot of energy to her. She's very talkative, very sociable. Now, what did she do? I was sitting at my cousin's dining table, and I had my laptop open in front of me, and she came to me, and mind you, I don't get to see these relatives very often since I don't live here. But her daughter comes up to me, and she has a book on, what is it? Unicorns. And the book covers various topics about unicorns, how to identify different kinds, becoming a certified unicorn. I already forgot the title. And it's a creative book, and made for younger readers, of course, such as her. But she starts reading the book to me, and she's all into it, very excited about it. She has such a passion for it. And I was following along. And she wanted me to read certain paragraphs for her. She was telling me her knowledge on unicorns. And she seemed to really enjoy it. And I was asking her questions, trying to show my interest, paying attention to her, engaging with her. But how did I respond to what she was saying and what she was doing? I was very realistic about the situation. I had come to a point where I had asked her, do you really believe in unicorns? And she told me she does. And I can't tell because she's so young. I mean, maybe by now she's maybe 7, around that age. But the way she was responding to my questions, such as that one, I couldn't tell if she really believed what she was telling me, if she really believes it, if she's really in that fantasy, if she really has such a creative imagination where she believes in that. That's a reality to her. And it got me thinking. And I'll get to that. Now, the previous night, during the housewarming gathering, another cousin and her family were there. And they have a son that's still young, but a bit older now. I want to say he's maybe 13. The whole night, he had a mask on. It was blacked out, shielded. It was a helmet, actually. It's a helmet. And he's supposed to be some sort of a ninja. Whenever he took off the helmet, he would take off the helmet. I had witnessed that a couple times that night. And he had a ski mask on, black, that only showed his eyes. Actually, he came over here, where I'm staying, yesterday evening. And I asked him, and he was wearing the mask again, same getup. And I had asked him, I was trying to engage with him, and I asked him, hey, why can't I see your face? Sort of teasing him in a playful yet kind enough manner. And he asked me, oh, so what? I told him, well, maybe I want to see your face. Why don't you like showing your face? Later in the evening, he eventually had taken off that cover up. That's another example similar to the one I had just mentioned about the young girl and her fantasy of unicorns and what have you. Am I somebody that you want to take advice from when it comes to parenting? Maybe not, because I'm not a parent. But some of you may be open-minded enough to not judge me, to not give me shit about what I'm about to say, these thoughts that I'm going to share on the topic. Because a lot of people tend to say that are parents that have children of their own, they tend to say, oh, you don't know what it's like, you won't know until you have children of your own. I believe that's bullshit. And what can I say to back that theory up, that it's bullshit? People are people. Doesn't matter if you have children or not. As someone that does not have children of my own, I can observe around me. I see people that I know, such as these relatives of mine, cousins and whatnot, with their children and how they interact with their children. And I can come up with my own conclusion or theories. And here it is. I would not let that slide. The saying, let children be children, it's also bullshit to me. I believe that is a mistake. Letting a kid be a kid and live in a completely unrealistic reality. Now, if I'm going to have children of my own at a later point in time, This is how I would like to bring them up. This is how I would like to teach them. I want to train them from the moment they get out of their mother's or his or her mother's stomach. I want to prepare them for the realities of life. Life is a gift. It's beautiful. It has its shit moments. And you have to learn how to navigate through them. And that's what I would want to teach my children. That's what you should teach yours. Those of you that have them. Those of you that are hearing me out now, that are thinking about it, of having children of your own. Consider what I have to say. I feel that when you do not correct a child that's being silly, obnoxious, unrealistic, if you do not try to correct that person, they're going to have unrealistic expectations in life, in their lives. That's when they're going to get hurt easily, disappointed, and they probably will not know how to manage those negative emotions that come with that. Therefore, they could make bad decisions as a result. With the boy, it's socially awkward. I don't care how old he is. And I had actually had this discussion with a couple of my aunts, maybe a day or two earlier, sometime last week. And it doesn't make any sense for you to come to a housewarming gathering where you're around a bunch of different people covering your face. Now, maybe that stems from shyness. Maybe it's a persona that he likes because it looks cool to him. It makes him feel good somehow. I can't. It's not going to be easy for me to describe it definitively, but this is what I could try to figure. And if I had the chance, I could have asked him more about that, but I'm not sure how he would have responded to me. Actually, I did ask him yesterday when he was over here. I had asked him, do you not like talking to people? And he said, no, I talk to people, but people I know. Well, I told him, well, you know that I'm related to you. I'm not a complete stranger. But you just don't see me often. Maybe you don't feel comfortable enough with me because I don't live here. You don't get to see me very often. So it can stem from shyness when young kids behave in such odd ways. he opened up to me a little bit. But when you're talking to kids, talk to them as though you would talk to any other human being in a normal, mature way. Some of my cousins here. Treat them as though they are older and mature. Whenever they behave unrealistically, try to sit the person down and have a talk and share your thoughts and immediately correct the person. Now, I don't know if I'm even being realistic about this, but I believe it can be done, but it takes time. If you were to talk to a professional, such as a psychologist or a professional that has studied the human mind and how it develops with age and what it can comprehend during different stages, life stages, I could be absolutely wrong with what I'm saying. But this is what I would like to believe, at least. That you can train your kids to be mature and grown from very young. Now that doesn't mean that I wouldn't want my children, or you shouldn't want your kids, not to have fun, not to enjoy life, not to feel free. But try to show them discipline. Try to explain to them how you would handle any given situation properly. And it's not going to be easy for me because everyone's situation is different. I cannot right now give each different specific examples of that. But I know how I like to try to live my life now, and I know how I would want to correct my kids. It all comes down to discipline. Teach them discipline. There's a time for everything. There's a time for you to enjoy yourself, to spoil yourself. But there's a time where you need to be serious, focused, and whatnot. I can keep going. If I have a daughter, if I had a daughter, young daughter, I wouldn't want her to be reading these children's books, these fantasy novels on unicorns. I would want her to read self-help books. That's what I do. And it's not that I would want my kids and that I'm suggesting that you have your kids try to be exact carbon copies of you. Each person has his and her own identity. But at least try to raise your kids in this way. I wouldn't want my kids watching childish shows and videos on, say, YouTube. All these different ridiculously silly cartoons. Because it does not help the kid to develop mentally, to mature mentally. And those, what they are, what's the damn word? I'm trying to use fancy words here, big words. What they are shown, that is what they will tend to go with. I believe that this is what causes these kids to behave in these odd ways. Covering their faces during social gatherings, talking about unicorns. I'm going to say it again. I don't give a damn how old you are, how old the kid is. That's the point I'm trying to make. Forget the age. The age is just a number. It really should not matter. I can't stand this baby talk. I'm not sure exactly what to call it, but you know, when usually women do this, they see a baby and they act all like, oh, so adorable, oh. Cut the shit. Cut the shit. And I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this. That's okay. That's what comes with it. Posting on YouTube. But these are my thoughts. And I'm sure I'll come across others that can agree with at least a lot of what I'm saying here. Subject. That's the word I wanted to use. Children behave in correlation to what they're subjected to. And these are the children that have, that tend to have bad manners. When they're angry, when they don't get their way, they get into these tantrums because they have these unrealistic expectations. Because I feel that these kids, many parents now suck at being parents. They just want the title. Oh, yes, I'm a parent. I'm a proud mother and a proud father of my kid or kids. Forget about that. Train them well. These kids, they have unrealistic expectations and they get upset. They throw tantrums because parents are not training their kids correctly. And it's not an ego trip. It's not trying to be controlling. It's not trying to take ownership of anyone. But what you should do is if you have a partner, and for some reason some people don't like the word partner. If you have a significant other with you, and you're planning, you're at that stage where you two feel that you want to have children, start talking about this from now. Plan it out and get the other person's thoughts and opinions on it. Now, I'm not sure if gender really matters on this. If females are gonna tend not to agree with what I'm saying here, or it probably doesn't matter when it comes to gender. There are gonna be males or females that will either agree or disagree with this, but and then this is starting to transition into another thought that I have, but I can't let this run on too long. Is it worth it having children? Is there any benefit to it other than having a sense of pride? Because it's weird to me. I mean, hey, it's normal. We are meant to procreate to keep our species moving along. But to consider all that comes with having a kid, some people rush into it. Some people think it's going to bring them closer with their partner. Different reasons. Planned, pre-planned. I'm not sure what else I can say now on it.